Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to round 9 of the DownUnder Series V8 Supercar Championship here from Sandown in the middle of Melbourne, Australia. It's going to be another evening of sprint racing, so two 40-minute races we have lined up for you this evening. My name is David Buckley, and alongside me we have Matt Sanderson. Say hello, Matt.
Yeah, once again, good to be back as always, Dave, to this great series we've got here, V8 Supercar Championship, this time visiting Sandown, which of course, as the banner suggests, the home of horsepower. It's going to be a good one with all these long straights.
Yeah, absolutely. Another very short lap time, just over 60-second lap time around this circuit. So once again, going to be fast-paced, high adrenaline, and possibly some traffic to contend with the leaders come the race time. But before that, we have our qualifying. We just joined us at the beginning of the session as everyone sets out on their outlaps. Before people start putting some lap times in, Matt, do you want to give us a quick rundown about what's happened last time out and the championship standings as they stand?
Yes, of course. So once again, it was Wayne Walker. He's won 5 out of 5 victories in the last few rounds, and of course it was the Sandown Sprint that we went to 2 weeks ago, which is on our YouTube. Fancy having a look at that, go and have a quick gander. But it was a great race between Wayne Walker, the defending champion, and Stephen White. They were pretty much neck and neck from start to finish in both races, and it was very fine margins between the two. Wayne Walker, though, having just that extra edge and coming home victorious. Craig Broadbent was also in the mix. He came home second place in that second race for that weekend, and he came third for the previous. So it was a really close duel between the top three. Daniel Obertsano, who sits third in the standings, wasn't present for that round, so he's dropped down into third place. But touching on the points quickly, Wayne Walker victorious, extends his lead. His total tally is now 2,171 points. Craig Broadbent sits tidy in second with 1,739. Obertsano, he is present here this evening, if I do believe, and he's on 1,557s. And then Stephen White is on 1,471. He's recently overtaken Mark Young, who now has 1,367 points, rounding out this top 5, Dave.
Yeah, and it's kind of a close championship until you get to Wayne Walker at the top. He's showing why he is a two-time winner. He just counting that he's got 11 wins so far in this season. That's more than any other winner combined. That he has won races this season, so he is looking very comfortable at the top of the table, and pretty much he just has to turn off for the rest of the season. He can walk away a 3-time champion, only one DNF as well, so he's doing an absolutely fantastic job. But yeah, Craig Broadbent doing a stellar job to kind of elevate himself from his bad luck he had at the beginning of the season. He's got a couple of wins under his belt now, and is looking good in second position, as you said. But yeah, Obertsano, he's got some work to do to get back to the sharp end. Missed a few rounds, unfortunately, but back this evening, and he is looking to go as far as he can. And speaking of Obertsano, he is currently on provisional pole, 1 minute 3.848. That's a pretty good time at the top there. We'll see if anybody can get close to him. In the practice, I did see Craig Broadbent did end up being on at the top there. He was able to edge out Wayne Walker by only a couple of tenths, so it could be quite close in the qualifying map.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 10 minutes, so we've had about 5 minutes worth of running now. That's good enough time for the tyres to get up to temperature and the track to start to bed in. Daniel Obertsano, again, he's on top at the moment for the time being, 103.8 being the best for now. And this is all going to be about slipstreaming as well. It's great opportunities here where the lap times are coming in just over the 1 minute mark. Busy track like this, you could easily get a nice slipstream down these long straights here.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of overtaking opportunities, it looks like there's going to be a bit of a premium on overtaking. I mean, at the end of the straight, you've got some chicanes before you get to the braking zone. So you're going to have to be either very brave, very patient, it seems, when it comes to getting past competitors. But there's definitely places you could try and send it down the inside, especially coming into the final sector, the final couple of corners. Stephen White going into second place. He is set 1 at 4.089, so not quite able to get into the 103s. Obertsano is able to improve by a tenth, goes 103.782. So he's returning to the pits and will probably come out for another couple of runs. Mark Young, so that Craig Broadbent just goes into third position, 1 minute 4.182. So he's got a little bit of time to find if he wants to get into the 1 of 3s and start challenging Optisano. Then Mark Young in a Peanut Racing car is 1 minute 4.335. Doing a pretty good job in the season is Mark Young. He's currently sat in 5th in the table. He's not had any podiums yet, unfortunately, but I think that could be coming. His pace is steadily improving, and if you look at his results, they just seem to be getting better and better. So he could be one to look out for in the later stages of the season.
Yeah, I mean, touching on the battles we had at last round at Tailem Bend, Mark Young and Chris McClellan, they're pretty much neck and neck as far as the competition goes. They're always on the track in the same space as each other. You know, points-wise, they're only about 100 points difference, which isn't a lot in this series because we do get large tallies before we get to the end of the season. But yeah, Mark Young seems to be getting really consistent in the last few rounds, as you say. And Chris McClellan also always typically seems to be behind the top 3, you know, behind Craig Broadbent, Stephen White, etc. So definitely good racing in the top 5, just behind our podium finishes.
Now, just looking, Wayne Walker yet to set a lap time, so he's done a few out laps, but I don't think he's managed to pull some together yet. So I'll just keep an eye on him. I think he's on a time lap right now. Yeah, he's the only one to not set time so far. He has gone 23.8 in the first sector, 18.5 in the second. So keep an eye on him as he comes through the final sector here. We'll see what kind of time he can pull together. We'll obviously be expected to see him quite far up the order. It's not often we see Wayne Walker down the back of the grid, but coming across the start-finish line now, what kind of time is that going to be? Second position at 1 minute 3.974, so second car to get into the 1 minute 3s, just under 2/10 behind Optisano, which has been his main rival for a while. Whenever they seem to race together, Optisano does put on a good show of strength towards Wayne Walker.
Yeah, just watching Stephen White have a big moment in the final sector here. He's actually bowed out that lap completely where he just locked up. Just carrying too much speed through the apex, and the rear came round on that holder, and not a good day. Still plenty of opportunities, mind you. 7 minutes left with 1 minute lap times. He'll still have at least 4 more chances of getting to the front row.
Yeah, absolutely. Craig Broadbent, I think, just coming out the pits now to set his next few laps. Keep an eye on that, and just see if we can find somebody who's just starting a lap, and maybe follow them around on a lap.
I'll beat you to that, and actually, sorry, I was going to follow Mark Young, but it turns out he's just finished a flying lap, not starting one.
Let's see, Wayne Walker is just letting some traffic through. That's going to be a very busy section of the circuit, it seems. That's a long back straight.
Brett Gooden just went into the barrier. It wasn't a great lap, unfortunately, for him, but here we go. Daniel Optisano starting a flying lap. Would you like to do the honours?
Sure, I don't know too much about this track, so we'll see how it goes. So, starting the lap now, across the start finish line, this is the kind of one of the main points of contention here. Long straight to come into the first corner, braking heavily just after the 100-meter board into the first left-hander. It's kind of medium speed, not going to be too many chance to overtake there. Then straight into a right-left kink, throwing the car over the curves, and Optisano goes wide. He's off into the gravel, so that was a bit of an early end to our track guide there, but you can see they are really hustling these cars around the circuit.
We'll go on board with Stephen White then, if that's the case. He's on a flying lap himself, so yeah, as you say, coming through turns 1, followed immediately by the chicane, so through turns 2 and 3, Stephen White having a big moment, and he got to slow it immediately down for the punch out onto the back straight. This is really important for the race as well. This could be a great opportunity to overtake. Slipstream in full effect as you go up the hill towards turn 6, and it's going to be quite a heavy braking zone before we slow things right down again before you have another chicane to contend with. So just a quick lift, flick it over to the left, and then start to slow things down for the immediate left-hander, which is turn 9, onto another straight before we get to the start finish underneath the banner. Another heavy braking zone here for turn 11. Immediately flick left once again for turn 12, which is your final corner to navigate before there's a quick kink on the start finish straight and across the line day. Yeah,
it's quite a simple circuit, but challenging at the same time. You've really got to launch the car over the curves and really commit into these corners to get the best lap time. Speaking of best lap times, Wayne Walker has gone provisional pole, 1 minute 3.647. So that is a stonking lap time for Walker there. He's just over a 10th clear of Obadisano. Interestingly, the top 7 all within half a second of each other, which is pretty good going, especially on a track, a short track as well. That's pretty good gap there. Everybody in the top 10 is within a second, so really close field so far. To really look out for here on your qualifying lap, it is traffic. Wayne Walker on his out lap, he's got to dive out the way of several cars who are on their timed laps. So on this back straight, you can see, I'm not sure if Matt's shown you, but Wayne Walker's 5 cars in frame and more coming. So this is going to be a very busy race, it seems, with 20 cars on the track.
Oh yeah,
21 cars, I should say.
This is what I'm really looking forward to when we go green racing. All these slipstreams helping each other, even if it is lap traffic after the first half of the race is completed. You know, we're going to get a lot of slipstreaming, a lot of overtaking, and it's all about committing to these braking zones that we've got here. And that can either go very right or very wrong. We'll have to wait and see, but it should be a really good race this round. I think the guys, I think the guys know that as well. You know, they're hearing big numbers. They know exactly where all the fun is. And, you know, high-speed corners and heavy braking zones, that's where the fun is, isn't it? Pushing the car to its limits. And Sandown just naturally provides that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting towards the back end of the season as well. There's only, I think, 4 or 5 rounds left to go in the championship now. So you've really got to start hustling to get the points and get the position you want towards the end. Only this round and the next round is going to be the sprint. After that, it's all endurance racing, which is going to be a completely different monster. We've seen earlier in the season we have had an endurance race already. Can't quite remember where that was.
Townsville Enduro, that was.
Townsville, yes. So yeah, we've had one Enduro at Townsville, so we've had a taste. But next one, next round, the round after, sorry, it's going to be a Bathurst, which is going to be one that everyone wants to win. Bathurst 1000. So we'll see how that goes, but they have to concentrate now. There's 2 minutes of qualifying left to go, so you'll get 2 laps of time lapse now if you can get across the line. Wayne Walker diving into the pits. I think he's happy that he's done enough. Stephen White has improved fantastically. Yeah, he's up into second place, 1 minute 3.758. So that's put Obadisano into third. Craig Broadbent in fourth place. He is in the 103s, well, 1 minute 3.993. And Alex Kidas, also in the Walker Racing car, he is doing pretty well. He is in 5th position with a 1 minute 4.107, so he's the last car in the 1 minute 4s. So we'll see if he can improve towards the end of the qualifying. But doing pretty well so far is Kidas to hold back the kind of top
the train.
The train, the midfield train of the likes of Chris McLennan and Mark Young.
Just on board with Obadisano at the moment. He's on a fairly quick lap. At the moment, he's on par with Stephen White in Sector 1. Wayne Walker's back out again. He's going to set one more flying lap, it seems, before the timer runs out. And Obadisano just coming up the top of the hill now, so let's see how he does coming through the final 2 sectors. Oh, but eating the grass slightly, but well managed as he slows it down for the back straight under the banner. It is a quicker middle sector. He's on par with Wayne Walker at the moment. It's not purple, but it could be good enough. If he can bring it home in the 3rd sector, this could be pole position, Dave. Accelerating. Accelerating now. He's a really good final corner. He didn't hit the curb, which I've seen other people do. He should move up by 1 position. We'll have to wait and see. And it's not. It's so close, Dave.
A 1,000th of a second between him and Stephen White, and that is it. He's not going to get another opportunity. So close between the two. See what Wayne Walker can do now as he sets his final lap of the session. But how close can it be?
This is what I love about this series. It's just that everyone is so close to one another. I mean, the top 3 cars are within 0.1 second of one another, you know. You can't make this stuff up. Broadbent another few tenths behind. And, you know, go all the way down to 11th place, you know, all within 1 second in V8 Supercars. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and it's not. It's all to do with driver skill as well. They're all on a very similar skill. It's a fixed setup series, so everyone's driving exactly the same car.
Yeah.
And the fact that all these guys are able to get so close to each other. I mean, the entire field's within 2 seconds, so that's pretty good going.
Broadbent's on a good lap as well. Sorry, he's on his. This is the last one before the checker flag comes out. Of course, it already has flown, but people are still on flying laps. He's had a good sector 1. Compared to his previous, so he's on a personal best at this moment in time. Will it be enough as Chris McLennan goes into P4? So Craig Broadbent's got to respond anyway. Craig Broadbent down to P5 as he comes across the start-finishing line, and it's not an improvement. He really let it go in that final sector. He lost about 3 tenths in sector 3, which is a 103.971. Still a personal best, but it's not enough to demote Chris McLennan once again. So he's going to have to settle for P5 there.
Yeah, that was a fantastic kind of last-ditch effort there from Chris McLennan to get it into 4th position. His kind of main rival there, Mark Young, is down in 8th, so he's got a good gap between the two. But that's your order for the start of this first race. Wayne Walker in pole position once again, followed by Stephen White in the White Dog Racing Holden. We've got Daniel Optisano in the Clean Skin Racing car. Chris McLennan, as we said, in 4th position, doing a fantastic job in the Noble Host Racing car. Craig Broadbent in 5th position. Kidas in the Walker Racing Mustang in 6th. In 7th, Justin Bryce, Mark Young in 8th. And then rounding up top 10 with Billy Ebenheiser in Java Esports car. And Peter Spearing in the Brad Jones Racing car as well. So we'll have just a 5-minute warm-up here as we get ready for the race. That was, once again, quite an extremely close qualifying session. Just showcasing the skill that all these drivers have. I couldn't cope to be. I could not hope to be competitive in this series.
It's a different world, isn't it? I mean, they've got to handle all that horsepower going to the rear axle. It's all slow corners, exits as well. So coming from immense speed, getting rid of all of that, slowing things down immensely before punching out once again. And yeah, these guys are so competitive with one another. It's been a great championship so far, and it can only get better in my view. You know, you've got Gold Coast, you've got Bathurst, you've got Newport, all endurance races coming up, and you've got Auckland in a few weeks' time as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic kind of close off to the season, but still plenty of racing to go. We've got 2 races this evening, 40 minutes in length, so strategy is going to play a part in here. Once again, talking of strategy, what do you think the main thing is here? Do you want to push straight away, or do you want to stay behind the guys? You know, for example, Stephen White, is he going to be in a better position strategically to stick in the slipstream of Wayne Walker, save that fuel, possibly burn the tyres up a little bit more, but be able to stretch out the stint a little bit longer and possibly do the overcut? Or is it going to be a case of push as hard as you can, get the gaps that you need, and try and do it that way? It's I'm sure they've figured this out in the practice, but it's something we're a little bit unsure of.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I guess they'll decide as the race unfolds under what circumstances they find themselves. You know, as you say, if they are stuck behind the leader or in a train of cars, save the fuel, undercut because those tyres are going to be cooked, and try and get the undercut on a lot of people and come out ahead in the first round of pit stops. Opposite situation, if you're ahead, of course you're going to be looking after the tyres because there's no dirty air, but you're going to have higher fuel consumption. So it's going to be either or, and I think depending on where they are in the grid, that's going to decide what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It will definitely help, I think, pull you towards the front of the field if you are following somebody who is a bit quicker than you in the corners, but you can stick with via slipstream in the long straights we've got. So, yeah, there's going to be a bit of strategy to deal with here. One thing to note as well is starts. Obviously, we have standing starts in this series.
Yes.
What I've noticed, Wayne Walker seems to usually get a very good start, but there's sometimes that he just doesn't quite get the power down as he'd like to. I've seen Optisano has been really good at his starts, and Stephen White has been pretty decent as well. So that is definitely, especially with such a long straight, maybe a good start is going to be vital here, because you've got a long run to the first braking zone. So if you lose any time getting up to speed, then it's going to be exaggerated going all the way down that long straight. So yeah, getting off the line in a timely fashion is going to be a major point in here, which I think I've seen a lot of people practicing on the grid here.
Yeah, I think with these cars, a good thing about R-Factor 2 is it has the real road, as we all know, but that also has an impact on how they start. I asked this question a few times because it's not the first time it's happened. Wayne Walker has a few moments where he's lost the lead going into the first corner, but it all depends on where they're starting. So if obviously on the dirty side of the track, that means that the other guys have a great opportunity to get ahead before the first corner, like we saw a few rounds ago. But I think this time by, he will be on the right-hand side, which is the main stretch down into the first apex, so he might have the advantage here over the second place guy, the man starting in second.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'd be Stephen White. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the drivers there. They are practicing starting on the dirty side. So if they can get the car away good in the dirty side of the track, then the clean side can be pretty easy. So we'll see how that goes. We've got 30 seconds to go until we grid for the race, and we'll be graced once again by the very loud R-Factor man telling everyone to get off the grid. And we'll be into our first session, our first race of the evening. So that'll be a good indication of where we'll be at for the entirety of the evening. Obviously, we'll need Wayne Walker. He wants to win. He always wants to win. And people like Stephen White, Opedisano, and Craig Broadbent as well. They've got some work to do if they want to get anywhere near the championship towards the end of the season. And they'll want to get as many points as possible, take as many points away from Wayne Walker. But Wayne Walker, I don't think he's under too much pressure. He's literally just got to finish in decent positions in the rest of the season. It's pretty much his championship to walk away with. Yeah. So we'll see how his what his mentality will be come the race. But saying that, we are once again deafened by R-Factor man, and we will be gridding for the race shortly.
You've got to love that guy, haven't you?
He's great. He's been a constant throughout every R-Factor stream I have ever done.
It's almost become a bit of a meme, hasn't it? It's, there's no R-Factor 2 race that escapes the announcer. He's always there.
Exactly. He's always there, and he's even been there for the historic series I've been racing in as well. He even in the 1950s, this guy was
he's still there,
deafening everybody when we came to the race. But yeah, here we go. Everyone lining up on the grid now. Wayne Walker taking his place. It's actually on the dirty side of the grid as the pole slot. So no wonder he was practicing his starts in the warm-up session there. So that's a fantastic opportunity for Stephen White to get the jump on Wayne Walker here. But we know how well Wayne Walker deals with pressure and even situations that don't quite go his way. He can just stick with it and get the win. But we're lining up here. The lights go on, the revs rise. And we're underway. It seems to be an okay start for Wayne Walker. Stephen White gets a decent run as well, but he's not quite able to match with Wayne Walker. Everyone's running towards the first corner now. Opedisano holds his position in third. Chris McLennan in fourth. Now it's Kidas manages to jump a car or two into fifth position once again. He's up to fourth now. Craig Broadbent and Mark Young coming. Oh, there's someone off in the background. Oh, big slide in the back there. That was one of the Java Simsports cars.
It looks like he's caught it though, by the looks of it. All the cars are still moving along, so it might have just been like a half spin after a bit of contact, but all the cars making it through, it seems.
Yeah, Wayne Walker able to hold on to the lead and get a decent gap coming onto the back straight. Daniel Opedisano is putting a lot of pressure on Stephen White here as they come into the fast chicane here. One line through here. You don't want to go side by side if you can help it. Braking into the penultimate corners now, and that is your top five. Kind of just holding on there. Wayne Walker in first, Stephen White and Opedisano. Skidas in fourth. Get a fantastic start for him. Chris McLennan in fifth. Craig Broadbent looks like his bad luck's starting to come back to him ever so slightly as he's battling with Justin Bryce. Justin Bryce gets very sideways out the final corner, and he's going to lose a bit of time to Peter Spearing behind as they come to start their second lap.
Stephen White having a little look down the inside on our leader Wayne Walker just for a small moment. Tucks himself back in behind Daniel Opedisano, still in third. Alex Kidas this time, after a great qualifying, is holding on Chris McLennan as well, so he's doing a great job so far in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen White just starting to eke a little bit of pressure into Wayne Walker early here. He wants to show that he is there. Looks like Walker can hold his own in the corners, but when it comes to the start-finish, the long straights here, obviously Stephen White, Obsano, everybody else can pull themselves back in using the slipstream, but all you need to do is just build that gap enough in the corners, and that can put you in a good position. Stephen White gets very sideways out of the fast chicanes. That's put him under pressure from Obsano, looking towards the inside, not able to make the move. He's going to try and make a run coming out of the final corner. It's Obsano. It's going to be a long run, and he gets sideways as well. Everyone's getting sideways. Kidas as well in the background. So fantastic, kind of spectacular racing so far. Not necessarily good for your tyre life, but coming into the first corner now, Walker handy gap over Stephen White for the time being, and Obsano not able to make that top 5, starting to break away ever so slightly from the rest of the field, as Obsano continues to pile pressure on the 97, coming into the second sector now.
Yeah, there's battles up and down the order all over the place. I'm struggling to figure out what we're watching, but we'll stay with the leaders for now as Stephen White goes defensive down. As we go down the back straight, he's looking down the inside now into the braking zone. Stephen White just has a small margin of advantage over Obsano as he goes onto the grass, as he slows down for turns 9, just manages to stop his Holden in the nick of time and back up to speed again as if nothing happened.
That could have been nasty. They're trying to go side by side through that area of the track is going to end in tears for somebody. So good control there from Obsano to keep it on the road, but he is showing his intentions here. He wants to get past Stephen White. He wants to challenge Wayne Walker for the win. Alex Kidas in the background is now under pressure from Chris McLennan as we come into the first corner. Not going to be a move on so far from McLennan, but he needs to stick behind now as they come through this winding section coming onto the back straight. Joe, they are just launching over these curbs. There's no concern for the suspension in these cars. But coming onto the back straight now, Stephen White is going to be under pressure once again from Obsano. Once again, going a bit defensive. He's ducking himself out of the slipstream there, so that's going to hamper him in his defence, I think. But not close enough is Obsano again coming into the fast chicane. And he's going to have to settle. Is that was a contact?
No, it wasn't contact, but you saw everything twitching left and right, didn't you? It was really committed braking from Stephen and Daniel at this stage of the race. They've got to be careful. I mean, Wayne Walker's setting faster laps each time he goes start, finish. So it's going to be really vital that they stay within that slipstream distance. Otherwise, I think Walker is just going to disappear.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to stay within that slipstream and stay within touching distance. If they continue to fight, they're going to put themselves under pressure from Alex Kidas and Chris McLennan. They've got a nice gap at the moment, but they won't stay there. Yeah, they really need to start focusing on forward now instead of backwards. I know Obsano is doing that. He is pretty much inside the back of the Holden there as of Stephen White, but continuing on now, they've managed to get away unscathed for the time being. But yeah, once again, Stephen White going defensive, putting his Holden right in the middle of the circuit, drifting back over to the racing line towards the braking zone. Nothing Obsano can do here. He has to stay behind once again, coming into the braking zone. Once again, it's very, very committed and last minute.
Little mistake there from Stephen White. Drops a tyre on the grass. There could be an opening here for Daniel Obsano. He places his car around the outside. Stephen White claiming that inside line, which puts him back down into third, but could that put him at a disadvantage coming down onto the start finish? It's a better exit from Daniel Obsano here as you come down towards turn 1. He's in the slipstream. He's getting really close to the back bumper there of Stephen White. Is he going to get an opportunity coming down into this braking zone? No, he's not. He thinks about it, but has to think of a better opportunity, or wait for a better opportunity, sorry.
Yeah, it was a compromised line coming out of the final corner for Stephen White as he tried to defend, but just that one small mistake can really undo your race here. But so far, Stephen White doing a fantastic job of defending from Obsano, but that is just playing into Wayne Walker's hands. He has managed to pull away. He's out of the slipstream now. As Obsano goes side by side, he's going to look once again to the inside, not able to make that sticky. Wisely backs out of that move, and then carrying on once again. Behind, look at this way they
all mistake here from Stephen White. The door's opened. He's alongside now, both coming down to that braking zone. There wasn't any contact between the two of them. Stephen just went slightly deep into that braking zone. Exactly the same again. Here's the fight though. This time Daniel sticks it around the inside. He's got the inside for the final corner. He's accelerating out. There's an exchange of paint between the two, and now it's a drag race towards turn 1. And meanwhile, Wayne Walker has decided to go into the distance as these two decide to battle it out. They're still side by side coming into turn 1, Dave.
Yeah, coming into turn 1 now is Stephen White going to back out. He surely has to. He doesn't. He sticks around the outside. Is he going to be able to hold it there? Optisano gets the better line, but it turns to the inside here, and he's not able to hold on to it. Optisano swoops around the outside, and now is second place for the Clean Skip Racing car, and that now puts Stephen White in the firing line of Alex Kiedis in the Walker Racing car. And also Chris McClellan and Craig Broadbent as well. So the upper midfield battles are coming towards Stephen White here. So not been the best start to the lap, but plenty of time to recover that time and chase back down on Optisano. We have seen Optisano does really push the cars to the very ragged edge, so possibly some mistakes could creep in towards the end of the race. But Wayne Walker, yeah, as you said, just driving away from the rest of the field now as these guys all battle.
Yeah, this has been so far an excellent race. Plenty of racing room given between both these guys as they were going side by side pretty much for about 5 corners here. And, you know, still exchanging paint, but a lot of respect between these two as they battle it out. But Daniel Pisano around the outside coming into the second corner, that was really epic stuff. But that has allowed Alex Kiedis and the duo of cars behind to catch up, and they will have the slipstream to go with it. And that could be a further problem there for Stephen White if he's not able to get past Optisano once again.
Yeah, looking back at Alex Kiedis, so he's really hustling that car. Pretty much every exit of corner he's going sideways, so that's not going to help his tyre life. But it certainly is quite spectacular to watch. But yeah, he is. I think he's just about hanging with Stephen White here. I don't think he's quite got the pace to hold on. Does the Walker Racing car number 17? Oh, look at that. He comes out the penultimate corner completely sideways. But he's doing a fantastic job so far to hold off the charges of Chris McClellan and Craig Broadbent behind.
Yeah, Craig Broadbent needs to start hustling and get past these guys. Of course, he's second in the championship. Optisano is now back in the game, and he's sitting tidy in second for the time being. So he needs to be able to pass the guys ahead. He's within striking distance. There's plenty of opportunities to come in the next 2 rounds. But if he starts to slip and fall outside of those podium positions, he could easily find himself being knocked off those points.
Chris McClellan right on the back of Alex Kiedis here as they come into the second sector now. And all very sideways once again from Kiedis. That's going to leave the door wide open. Chris McClellan's going to go around the outside, and he's going to have all of this, the overdrive he needs coming into the back straight. I don't think there's anything Alex Kiedis is going to be able to do here. He's not got any slipstream help. He's going to be bump drafted along by Craig Broadbent. Craig Broadbent side by side as well. They're going to go into the chicane. The contact between everybody, and somehow they all make it through. But Chris McClellan comes out in 4th position. Alex Kiedis in 5th, and Craig Broadbent not able to capitalise, but he is going to be charging. Looks to the inside into the final corner. Just about has a nose there, but isn't able to squeeze that Mustang into the gap. But that's going to be another lap there that he'll have to stick behind the blue and yellow car. And Chris McClellan can drive away now in 4th position. But this battle definitely isn't over. Craig Broadbent the boost of the Walker Racing car here, number 7.
Well, it could be an opportunity here for Broadbent. Here he comes down the inside. Kiedis had a bit of a mistake coming into the S's, and that was just an opportunity that opened itself. Craig Broadbent ate the curb, which unsettled the car, had to go back into position again, but now onto the back straight. So a slight gap starting to emerge between our leaders now. Optisano 3 seconds shy of Wayne Walker. Stephen White a further 0.8 seconds behind, so he's starting to close that gap back up again in the white Holden, drifting slightly into those final few corners, but still going strong. Chris McClellan then a further gap of 2.5 seconds. Alex Kiedis, Craig Broadbent and Justin Bryce also having a 2-way fight between these guys. Justin Bryce, Peter Spearing and Mark Young find themselves in a 3-way train. And coming into the final corner now. So battles up and down the order. We can't see them all, unfortunately, but staying with the top 10, and there's battles going on all over the place. Craig Broadbent in the slipstream of Alex Kiedis having a look down the inside, it seems. Can he make it work? No. Tucking back into the slipstream and staying put for the time being. Justin Bryce also under a similar situation. Peter Spearing being the next in line. Mark Young also needs to find his feet in this race to catch up to Chris McClellan, who is his championship contender. Justin Bryce having a big sideways moment as we go onto the back straight there. And I think we may have lost Dave in the commentary box. I heard him crackle and splutter just slightly before disconnecting. And we are side by side now. Here comes Justin Bryce and Peter Spearing. They are neck and neck. Justin snaps the nose off as he comes into the heavy braking zone at turn 9, able to hold that position in the 333 for the time being. Peter Spearing not having any of it though, because he's got Mark Young to contend with. He wants to get by in quite quickly if he's to make sure he doesn't lose that position. Coming onto the back straight now. Still got Alex Kiedis and Craig Broadbent within slipstream distance as well. Coming up down the back straight once again. Entering turn 6 at speed. Still the same. And Justin Bryce getting a bit of a lead over Peter Spearing, who now finds himself in the jaws of Mark Young as he comes through the corner now. You have further battles behind. You've got Bradley Martin, Matt Ogg, and a newcomer, which is Brad Mays. He's first time appearance in the series, so welcome, Brad. This is a great series indeed, and of course he's finding his feet in his first ever race. Currently sitting in 17th place in a throughway fight there, which is great to see. Getting stuck straight in. Broadbent, we just caught the back end of that huge drift as he made his way through sector 1. I believe that was in the exit of turn 2. Just managed to get the back end slide out and managed to catch it before it turned into a full spin, but that's going to heat up those tyres nicely as we now approach the end of the first half of this race. Wayne Walker just slowly keeping that gap consistent though. It's up to 3 seconds, so lap time's pretty much on par with Daniel Oppitisano here. 1:04.6 for Wayne Walker, 1:04.7 for Daniel Oppitisano, the fastest laps, but last lap times were both 1:05.1s, and that is pretty much pace for pace at the moment. That gap staying steady, give or take a tenth or two.
I do apologise for that. I'm back.
Welcome back, Dave. No worries. We've been holding the fort while you've been gone. You've missed plenty of action, plenty of overtaking manoeuvres.
Now.
And here comes Alex Kiedis, Craig Broadbent. Oh, I'm joking. Don't worry. I'm just winding you up. Alex Kiedis coming through turns 2 now. Still got Broadbent. He's been able to catch that gap back up. He had that half slide, but it doesn't seem to have bothered him too much. He's going to get a nice exit coming onto the back straight as he drifts it sideways. That's exactly what he doesn't want to do. You want to be able to slipstream down that back straight and alongside going into turn 9, which he can't now achieve. Justin Bryce, in the meantime, is holding off Peter Spearing still. And Mark Young. Can he get the slipstream here coming down into turn 9? He's closing that gap down. It won't be enough, though, on this particular lap to overtake.
I'm just thinking, coming towards the pit window here, so it could be possible that the tyres on Craig Broadbent and Alex Kiedis are starting to go off. They've been pushing quite hard for the start of the race, so yeah, I think in roughly about 5 or so minutes we should see people starting to pile into the pits for their one pit stop of the race. But yeah, Craig Broadbent's got some work to do here if he wants to get back onto Chris McLennan and the rest of the field to try and fight for some more points.
Yeah, he's currently sitting in P6 at the moment, isn't he? That's pretty much where he's been for most of this particular race. He's got to be able to get past somehow. I mean, ideally he would want to be on the podium position in 3rd, but it seems to be a tad out of reach for this particular race. It seems the gap already is up to 11.5 seconds to lead Wayne Walker. So he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to make that work.
Yeah, well, that work is he's starting to do here. He's really pushing as Kiedis now try and get past. He could possibly think of maybe trying to do something in the pit window, maybe some alternate strategy, but ultimately he needs to get past on pace if he wants to get anywhere near the top 4 now. It's one of the closest battles we have, and did he say Mark Young and Peter Spearing having a right battle for P8 on circuit. They're coming through the final corner now onto the start-finish straight, so keep an eye on them as well. But yeah, Craig Broadbent, he's really struggling to find a way around. It looks like Alex Kiedis is just about quicker, exactly where he needs to be to keep the Racetech Steel Racing car behind him for the time being.
Can I just say, Alex Kiedis is on a really good race. I mean, if you look at his point situation, he's only got 604. Joined about halfway through the season, but 32 points, 38 points, 51 points. He's gradually been increasing his tally as he comes through the season. Last round was 102 points, his best result so far. And if he can stay in his current position as it stands, he's going to show that he is starting to become a real threat in this championship. He's up there with the top guys. He's holding off Craig Broadbent with everything he's got. And a few more attempts and he'll be in with Chris McLennan, Mark Young and all the rest of them. Yeah,
he's doing an absolutely spectacular job so far. Still plenty of time to go as Craig Broadbent comes into the pits. So tired of being held up by the improving Alex Kiedis, he is into the pits and going to try and undercut some of the competition, it seems. See where he comes out of the pits after his pit stop, so because he definitely doesn't want to come out into some slower traffic, but we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, that's a bold move. I mean, 22 minutes still left. I know they can take about 25, 26 minutes worth of fuel, so they can go further on, so that's not going to be an issue. But we've seen before that the amount of time you're stationary is crucial to these races, so if he's going to see that kind of advantage as Peter Spearing gets a massive sideways moment going onto the back straight, goes from one side of the track to the other, drifting those rears, Mark Young can slide on by quite easily as he gets a nice smooth punch out of that particular corner, and he's up into 7th place.
Behind that particular battle, well, we've got Billy Ebenheiser and John Slow battling over P9. Just as you were talking about Alex Kiedis and his results, I can see Billy Ebenheiser trying to go around the outside of the of that fast chicane off the back straight. So didn't manage to get that stuck, but he is still right on the back of that Happily Average Racing Mustang there. We see more people coming to the pits. Justin Bryce, Mark Young, Peter Spearing all coming into the pits at the same time. So some early stoppers here. Ashley Cutchy looks like he is unfortunately retired from the race. That looks like from an insert at the beginning, because he is about 16 laps down, and we are on lap 18 at the moment. But yeah, battle for what is now 6th place before pit stop still ongoing. Ebenheiser looking every which way, gets very sideways coming through the chicane there. Too much curve, unsettled the car, and as he put the power down, the car decided he wanted to face the other way, but he caught it very nicely, and his battle continues with John Slow.
Didn't seem to phase him too much, did it? I mean, he was eating the curbs quite aggressively, and he just thought, I'm just going to carry on. Didn't seem to bother him at all. On board with Billy Ebenheiser there as he comes through his turn 9. Just if you look on board with these V8s as they're coming through into that heavy braking zone from the back straight, it looks so aggressive. They're so unsettled. Hitting the curves really doesn't agree with these cars as well as they try to apply the throttle, especially coming through this final corner. As John Slow goes into pit lane and releases Billy Ebenheiser into the distance for the time being.
Ebenheiser steering the bus there, it's so aggressive that when he just muscles the car into the apex. It kind of reminds me of Alonso back in the Renault days, 2005, 2006.
Yeah, but have you seen him driving on the webcam though? Because he's just got one hand on the steering wheel the whole time. He's just relaxed as hell, but yet the input is so aggressive, and he's just drifting all over the place at the same time.
So looking back, Wayne Walker has come into the pits as well, it seems. He's back down to 6th position.
Ooh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Dave, but we just had Broadbent go ahead of Stephen White coming out of pit lane. Stephen went in last time by. Broadbent's come out ahead in the second phase of this race. So that undercut has worked wonders. Either that or Stephen White has had a really bad pit stop. But if that stands true to how that's going to stand, he's going to find himself behind Oppitisano, or even ahead of Oppitisano, because they were only at 8/10 between those two at the start of the pit stops.
It's got about 14 seconds between him and Wayne Walker, which was similar to I think what we had last time. Billy Ebenheiser, Chris McLennan and Brett Gooden also in the pits. But yeah, that wouldn't be the first time that Stephen White has had some issues with the pit stop. I think he unfortunately threw away a win a couple of rounds ago by having a terrible pit stop and missing his pit box. So maybe that's happened again. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this is working out quite well for Craig Broadbent if he can get back up the field. as we can see there. Looks that's Chris McLennan just coming out of the pits. Yeah, he's jumped a lot of people there. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's got past him.
That's what I'm saying.
Hot ties. He's got around him. He's in 55th.
Obertizano now into pit lane, so this is our race leader technically. Wayne Walker's just coming down the back straight now, so he will, I suspect, take the lead without any issues because he came into the pits earlier. We'll have to wait and see. Coming through turn 9 now. It's a quick lap round here, remember. Obertizano still stationary in pit lane. Will it get going very soon? We'd hope so. Gap coming down very quickly indeed, down to 13 seconds in fact. And it's not got much time left. The revs are rising on Obertizano's car as he tries to get underway, which he does now. Walker's already coming around the corner. That's a huge gap, huge advantage here. He's still coming down pit lane. That's going to be at least 10 plus seconds once back up to speed, I reckon.
Yeah, where's Craig Broadbeck? He's got Wayne Walker not Wayne Walker, Chris McLennan right on his tail here. He's going to get out ahead of that battle, but look at that. That's put Craig Broadbeck up into the podium.
I know. So it's crazy, isn't it?
That's the Stephen White, but who's gone from 3rd position down to 6th. But Craig Broadbeck up to 3rd. He's jumped He's jumped three cars doing that, I think. Yeah,
3 cars. He was in P6, now he's in P3. That's incredible strategy there by Race Tech Steel Mustang, and Craig Broadbent certainly knows how to play the game as far as the tactics are concerned, and he's jumped all of them. Now finds himself behind Billy Ebenhauser, I think, or one of the Java Sim esports cars, coming down the back straight, and he's now got Chris McLennan, Justin Bryce, Stephen White, all for company, right behind him.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane strategy there from Craig Broadbent, showing why he's actually quite far up the order as he is. He's definitely got the pace, and he's just struggling to find his way around some of the cars. At Ski Das Monforti down to 8th position, so that good run he had not continued, but he's not far from this battle. So any issues that befall any of the cars ahead of him, he can easily capitalise on. He's very quickly closing on Mark Young as well. As you can see, this absolute train of cars behind Craig Broadbent.
Oh, Stephen White sideways with Justin Bryce. Yeah, I think there was a slight touch, nothing too serious though, but Justin able to hold that position. But he's just trying to heat up the tyres. That's all Stephen's trying to do. He's just thinking, oh, these are too cold still. I'll drift into this corner and get them up to temp.
Yeah, my car's looking a bit too clean. I think I should make it a bit dirtier. But he's battling once again. Justin Bryce coming into the braking zone now, into sector 3. Side by side, they make contact. Coming through the apex, they've managed to keep it together somehow, and Stephen White just sends it. Thank you very much. Gets sideways. He's round. Oh, there's contact. That's a big crash into traffic, and everyone else is able to avoid that. That was messy.
Yeah, I thought it was a big send when I saw it. I thought for a second he was going to have a big tank slap moment because I saw the back end sliding through that particular apex, and I thought, is he going to hold it? And then as soon as the tank slap happened, it went completely the other way. Nothing Justin could have done to avoid that, unfortunately. But back up to racing speed for both of them, all the way down in P8 and 9 now. That's a disaster for those two guys.
Yeah, if I was Stephen White, I'd probably give that position back to Justin Bryce there. I wouldn't really feel good about taking a position away after causing that, but we'll see how the stewards feel about that after the race. Carrying on back up the order, Chris McLennan still right behind Craig Broadbent here as they come into the braking zone.
Yeah, slipstream's in full effect. It was right on. That was pretty much bumper to bumper there between the two Mustangs as they fight over to P3. Chris McLennan's got some really good pace in the second stage of this race. Those tyres are really starting to find some good grip. Of course, we've got to remember that Craig is going to be faster.
Oh, Matt, sorry to interrupt you, Matt. Opisano's out.
He's out of the race.
Yeah, I saw somebody go off as Craig Broadbent and Chris McLennan were fighting, and it was Opisano. So he is completely out. He's had a massive crash coming into that fast chicane, and he is done for.
Well, that's certainly going to change the dynamics of the championship, that's for sure. This seemed like it could be an opportunity for Opisano to close the gap. We had a side-by-side moment between McLennan and Broadbent coming into the final corner. Broadbent got a slightly better exit, which put him back into place in P3 now. So it's a really good race here for the Noble Host car, and he's got a lot of speed coming into the second half of this race. As already mentioned, he's looking to overtake quite quickly, it seems. There's a lot of speed in that car. Last lap times 105.9, 106 5.0 for Craig Broadbent, so he is slightly slower. Let's see if he can hold off McLennan behind. Oh, down the inside, here comes McLennan. Always touching between the two of them. And that's going down into turn 9 again. Yeah, Broadbent not able to do anything about it. Mark Young goes through. Alex Kiedis goes through. Billy Ebenhauser also on scene, it seems, but he's a lap down, I believe. And back up to speed now. McLennan allows Broadbent back through. What car is that? Is that Billy Ebenhauser behind? No, it's not. It's a second of the Java Sim esports car. He's not for contention.
Gigi Isan, he is down in 19th position, so yeah, not of concern for the time being. But look at how the race has just fallen into Mark Young's lap here in the Peanut Racing car. He was in what, 7th or 8th position before the pit stops. Now he finds himself in 2nd, and he's got a train of 5 cars behind him.
And Alex Kiedis as well. He's been doing everything he can to stay within contention. He's very strong this round too, so he's sitting tidy in 3rd place. I mean, Wayne Walker probably can't believe his eyes. He's now got a 20-second lead over these guys as they've all been fighting over one another, and he's now certainly going to win this race, provided nothing happens between that time, something like an Opitano situation. He can afford to back out and take it easy now. You know, he can see that gap and he can manage that as the time comes down to make sure that he comes home victorious.
Yeah, he's probably just wondering what the hell happened behind him to cause all this. But wait, this is a truly mixed up order we've got going on here. Mark Young is doing a fantastic job so far of backing off Alex Kiedis and defending. Craig Broadbent doing a fantastic job once again of holding off Chris McLennan as well. Peter Spearing, he's right up there as well in the 6th position. I think that might be one of his best results of the season. He can continue with that. And Stephen White as well. It's been a disastrous race for him, unfortunately, but there's still plenty of time to go. 11 minutes of the race to go. He can get a couple of positions, but this has been crazy.
Yeah, I to be honest, I'm loving this race so far. Sandown has definitely delivered on some great racing here. You've still got battles going on up and down the order, no question about it. Stephen White on board with him at the moment as he tries to chase down Peter Spearing. He's having a great race himself. Again, all these drivers that have been here throughout the season, we've seen them, finishing outside the top 10. As the season's progressed, they've been getting more and more consistent and becoming a bigger problem for the guys that are regularly found inside the top 10. It's great to see. And, you've got Stephen White currently giving chase to Peter Spearing right now. That would, a few rounds ago, that would have been an easy job, but now it's actually, he's got to think about where he's going to place the car. He's got to think about what he's going to do. These guys have learnt a lot.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, and it also it's helped. Hopeful for next season we'll see even more guys have even more positions. See you guys commit to the season.
He's going for it down into turn 2, the braking zone through the S's. Moment there. Is there still contact between the two of them?
No, at Spearing there, I think he just got a wheel on the grass in under braking, just sent the back right around, and unfortunately that has put him into the grass. He's managed to get back underway. But yeah, that is unfortunate for Peter Spearing. It's been a fantastic job up to that point, but just a small mistake and it's cost him quite a few positions.
Let's have a look at this four-way battle then. Let's move up the order. Great racing between them, but obviously Stephen White now moving up into P6. Mark Young holding off Alex Kiedis, who's still in this fight. He's right on his tail, 0.4 seconds shy. Craig Broadbent still has Chris McLennan for company as well. He's got a slightly bad exit coming out of the final corner, having said that, so it could be an opportunity here for McLennan to move up into P4 perhaps. The slipstream really is helping him close that gap down, but it's not going to be enough coming into the first corner, I don't think.
You say that he looks to the inside, not quite able to get that stuck in. Oh, there's more contact between them. There's no love lost between these two guys. I have to keep an eye on
around the outside by Chris McLennan. He goes right the long way around there, Dave. Still finds room to get to the apex and eat the curb on the next corner, but takes that position. That was brilliant stuff.
That took me by surprise, and I can imagine it took Craig Broadbent by surprise as well. What a fantastic move that was from McLennan. But all of this is helping Stephen White. He is closing in, only about 5 seconds behind this battle. So Mark Young might see himself holding off quite a few cars by the end of this race.
Oh, this battle for second place is starting to get spicy. Alex Kiedis having a little look down the inside, probably trying to put Mark Young off slightly in hopes that it'll make him or force a mistake. Mark Young only 0.3 seconds ahead of Alex Kiedis coming onto the main straight now.
Yeah, coming into the first corner. Kidas looking to the inside. Is he going to make the move? Not quite. Just showing the nose and, yeah, as I said, just trying to run distraction on Mark Young there. Coming through the chicane now. No changes for the time being. Chris McLennan managing to build a little bit of a gap as Kidas gets very sideways. Pulls it all together, but that's going to hurt his exit coming onto the straight here. That's going to probably put an end to any moves here. But look at this. Chris McLennan is closing quite rapidly onto the back of these two cars. This is going to be a four-way fight for second place towards the end of the race.
Onto the grass goes Alex Kidas as he tries to carry a bit too much speed through those section of corners. Slows it right down for turn 9 though, which is of course the crucial part. And still, once again, looking. That it seems to be his favourite corner, looking down the inside into the penultimate corner. I have a feeling, a gut feeling, that maybe that's where he's going to make his move when the time comes.
Yeah, he's just sizing up the move, trying to see if he can fit that hefty Mustang into that gap. But we'll see how that goes towards the end of the race. 7 minutes remaining. Wayne Walker is happily just cruising at the moment in 21 seconds ahead of this pack. As we see Chris McLennan really right on the back of these two cars now. So the more they fight, the more it's going to bring everybody else into it. And Stephen White could see himself in this battle as well towards the end of the race. He is, as I said, only about 4 seconds now, 4.5 seconds off the back of this little pack here. But coming down the back straight now, Mark Young got a better gap now. It looks like Alex Kidas just had to back off ever so slightly as Mark Young was a little bit wide and just ruined any gap he might have had.
Bit of a sideways moment from McLennan. He's sideways. We're on board with him at the moment, and coming into the turn 9, carrying a bit too much speed. That seems to be the main corner where people will start to lose the rears, isn't it? Just seems to rotate the cars very nicely here, trying to scrub off all that speed. And if you touch the curb, especially on the inside, that's what really assists the rear of the car from unsettling and coming all the way around. Looks like maybe a potential move here from Alex Kidas coming into turn 1. No, thinks better of it. Just wanting to unnerve Mark Young, it seems. He's putting a bit of pressure on. But Mark Young holding firm and defending that position. This could be his best result of the season so far.
Yeah, he's doing an absolutely fantastic job. It doesn't look like he's struggling for grip at all. We cannot say the same for Alex Kidas as he skids to the other side of the circuit. But yeah, Mark Young doing a fantastic job. He's just driving smooth. He's driving within his limits. Knows exactly when to defend and where to put the gap in. He's doing a brilliant job to possibly get his first podium of the season. Alex Kidas doing his best though. This has been a fantastic race for him. I think as long as he can continue like this, he's guaranteed a podium. But does have to hold off hard charging Chris McLennan and Craig Broadbent behind, as they'll probably be a little bit fired up from their altercations earlier. But this has been fantastic racing, and Mark Young gets a much better exit out the final corner. Alex Kidas now under pressure from Chris McLennan. Mark Young is going to be really happy with this, to see that that bright yellow and blue Mustang is not in his mirrors, and he can just focus ahead once again. But coming to the first corner, no move there for McLennan.
Bit of a moment there for Alex Kidas, yeah, trying to apply the power, just a bit squirrely, and thought maybe Chris McLennan might have found an opening, but has to wait for another opportunity. But yeah, as you say, he's falling slowly behind into the jaws of the Noble Host Mustang, as opposed to applying pressure to Mark Young now. He's starting to put a bit of a lead now, 0.8 seconds between these two, whereas it's only 0.4, half of that between the cars behind.
Yeah, this is really falling into Mark Young's hands now, and I think Craig Broadbent in 5th position might be wanting this battle to commence as well, because he could capitalise on any issues as well. I think he's well aware of what can happen if you start battling too hard with Chris McLennan, it seems, in this race. But it's been fantastic. Once again, everybody's sideways coming out of that final corner. Kidas and McLennan really struggling to put the power down. In the latter stages of this race, the tyres really starting to go off as you follow someone too closely. Coming to the first corner now, McLennan has dropped a bit too far back to make a move once again. Kidas extremely sideways. He's either really struggling for tyre grip now, or he's pushing the absolute max he can out of that car.
You've got to feel for him that, I mean, throughout the season he's not had the best experience. No, not trying to talk down his ability at all, but he seems to have qualified really well and then suffers some bad luck during the races. this could be a big moment for Alex Kiedis. If he can take this home, he's only got to last a further 3 minutes. If he can take this home, that will be a huge motivational boost for this guy. You know, holding off the likes of Broadbent and Chris McLennan, guys who are way up there in the standings. You know, that's going to be a big thing for him.
He's trying his best as he gets sideways once again at the final corner. To just under 3 minutes of this race to go on lap 34 now, and McLennan really is pushing the limit now. He is a 10th behind, doesn't look into the first corner, but he is going to try and get a better exit coming into the chicane. No such luck here. Possible look slightly towards the inside, but he's just going to
another drift.
Oh my God, I don't think those tyres are going to be usable after this on Kiedis' car, or McLennan's for that matter.
Well, yeah. I think that was his saving grace, the fact that McLennan and Broadbent both had a sideways moment on power down coming onto the back straight. That will save him from being overtaken down the back straight in towards the next section of corners. Yep, looking down the inside is McLennan. Not close enough, certainly not close enough this time. It would have to be a big send to make that stick, but he's only got 2 minutes left here. 2 more laps. And then we are on to the final. Big move down the inside, potentially. Decides to poke his nose in, but that's going to cost him now. That was a bad move by McLennan, because now Alex has a great run onto the start-finish straight. That's going to increase the gap, if anything, between the two of them, and 0.5 seconds as opposed to 0.2, where it was coming into that final corner.
Yeah, that was a brilliant defensive move there from Alex Kiedis. Just shuts the door on the apex and forces Chris McLennan over the curbs, gets a bad exit. Fortunately for McLennan, he didn't have to worry about Craig Broadbent behind. He was a little bit too far back to be of a threat. But yeah, this is a fantastic defensive drive from Alex Kiedis here. Just using all of his knowledge. He's just about going to have some slipstream help from Mark Young ahead to help him stay ahead on the straights. And yeah, he's just able to park the car exactly where it needs to be in the corners to stop McLennan coming around. And McLennan goes very sideways through the chicane once again. We'll be coming on to the final lap, I believe, now, as Wayne Walker has come across the line. I think this will be the final lap. I'm not sure if he...
I think there may be one more, because the gap is up by 20 seconds. He's already pretty much through Sector 2 now. I don't know. I'm sat on the fence in terms of that one. We may get one more racing lap.
Alex Kiedis will be hoping to God that Wayne Walker just drops back a little bit as McLennan looks again to the inside. Doesn't phase Kiedis, so he's able to just hold it there, just park that car right in front of Chris McLennan, gives him nowhere to go, and continues on. Exit out this corner is going to be vital as McLennan goes over the curbs. That's going to help.
He's on the grass.
Nicely
held.
Very much on the grass, and he was just able to hold that together. But we've got 12 seconds of the race to go. Wayne Walker's coming through the final corner now, so we might just about get another lap here as he come across the line. And I think we've got one more lap to go. One more
racing lap. He could have, I mean, to be honest, Wayne Walker could have just ended the race there and then. He had time to back out, but it seems that he's having so much fun, he wants to go again. And this is bad news for Alex Kiedis, of course. He's now got to fend off Chris McLennan in that Noble Hose Mustang for one last time. Mark Young's also who's thinking, oh, please, can this end already? Oh, actually, sorry, Stephen White and Craig Broadbent. So maybe,
what's happened there?
So something's happened to Craig Broadbent because he was on to the back bumper of Chris McLennan. So he's had a small mistake there that's allowed Stephen White to overtake in those last closing moments. So Stephen's actually done a really good job in the second stage. Bar that small mistake that he had with Justin Bryce, he's had a great race in terms of putting down the lap by lap pace and closing that gap down. So he was just sat there ready to hoover up anything that was laid down by the mistakes from up ahead.
Yeah, he's done an absolutely fantastic job. But another person doing a fantastic job is Wayne Walker as he comes through the final corners now. I'll just keep an eye on him as he comes across the start-finish line. And he comes to take his 12th win of the season in the Walker Racing Mustang. Fantastic job for him. Mark Young will most likely come home in second place, but our focus now is on this battle for third. Chris McLennan has to do it now. We have to go for it. He's gone for it.
That's a big send.
That was big.
This could be an opportunity for Stephen White. Stephen White's coming through. He's gone from P6 all the way down into third in those closing stages. That was a big send from McLennan there. I can't believe the end of this race, Dave. This is unwritten stuff, isn't it? You couldn't make it up if you tried. Great stuff.
Absolutely insane there. I mean, I don't blame Chris McLennan for giving that a go. He tried his best to get past. He did give the position back to Alex Kiedis there, but I think that'll be bitter sweet for Alex Kiedis as he just misses out on a podium. Stephen White, extremely good recovery drive there to come back into third, just able to keep it clean and get away from the chaos. Craig Broadbent, I think he had issues again because he's back down to 9th. So God knows what happened to poor Craig there, but
maybe a fuel miscalculation. That's not unheard of.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me because he was able to be pitted early and jumped so many people. So good race from Billy Ebenheiser as well for quietly coming back into 6th there. So fantastic for him. But what a race. What a fantastic race that was.
My heart, Dave. I can't take stuff like this anymore. That was really good stuff at the end. Of course, I think there will be a few words afterwards in terms of that move into the final corner. I'm sure Alex Kiedis was very excited to have an opportunity to come home on a podium finish, and you know that's very unfortunate the way it happened, but that's racing sometimes, isn't it? You make a move, sometimes it doesn't always work, and unfortunately they both paid the price for it.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said before, I don't necessarily blame Chris McLennan for trying that, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a penalty for that dive. That's cost him and another driver some good points there. But yeah, what a fantastic race! I think I'm getting too old for these kind of exciting races, but brilliant there. Once again, a masterclass from Wayne Walker, just able to just run away in the beginning and just stay out of trouble. And yeah, that's his 12th win of the season. Unfortunate for Oppisano to end the way he did, with just an unforced error on his own, which caused him to come out of the race. But speaking of Wayne Walker, we have him in the commentary box. Wayne, that's congratulations once again. I think that's your 12th win of the season. That seemed pretty easy after the first half of the race.
Yeah, at the start, you know, with Steve behind, putting pressure on, and Oppo as well. Couldn't sort of relax till pretty much after the pit stop, and then I had a decent gap where I could just sort of maintain the gap and not push too hard.
So walk us through, because we was watching the times as they were coming in through the first sector in Sandown. Daniel Oppisano was hovering at about 3 seconds. You know, we was thinking if you could break that slipstream, you might be able to get ahead. Was that a similar kind of mentality that you had? I really need to hammer down early, or you know, what was going through your head strategically at that point?
It was more just you know, going as quick as I could without hurting the tyres too much. You know, same as always. You know, once you get the tyres too hot, you know, the car starts to slide around.
Yeah. And
it just happened that pace, I was just staying around the 3 seconds to Oppo.
Yep. And
but yeah,
sorry, go on.
After the pit stop, I think he was about 10 seconds behind, and I sort of backed the pace off a little bit, and I saw him catching, but then, yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, all of a sudden he dropped out.
So is it quite difficult here? We're riding on board, coming through, especially down into turn 9. Walk us through the experience from the cockpit of a car here. It looks very violent down here at Sandown. Is it quite a tricky track to master?
Yeah, it's not one of my favourite tracks. Usually I don't go the best here. But yeah, at the end of the back straight, it's pretty hard to get that sweeping left-hander right. And then coming down into the braking zone, there's a couple of bumps that unsettle the car as well, and they can sort of kick it sideways coming into the left-hander at the end. But yeah, it's just you got to be so careful and smooth. Well,
it certainly looks like a lot of fun out there. It's been very entertaining from up here in the commentary box. I can tell you that much. When you go watch the replay, you're going to see some great battles. That's for sure. Some head turns. Yeah, you had it nice and comfortable. Trust me.
I know near the end, second, third, fourth, and fifth. I think they're only within a second or two.
Yeah, it was really spicy. So you're going to enjoy watching that back, but you had a very comfortable race up front. That was great stuff to watch. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And
thank
that's
you.
another win under your belt, Wayne. So we'll let you go because it's only a minute and a half before you have to grid up and do it all again. But wishing you the best of luck.
Yep, thank you.
And that was Wayne Walker there, just having a few words with us. Another victory under his belt, extending his championship lead once again there, Dave.
Yeah, it all worked out for him in this race. Saying, "Oh, I don't normally go too well here." He's always one to be modest, isn't he?
He is, yes. Yeah, it's just like, I could have been better, but it could have been worse. Yeah, these guys are a lot quicker than me still, even though I won.
I was just trying to hurt the tyre. Yeah. We all right, Wade. we know you know you're good. But yeah, that was a fantastic race, and yeah, Mark Young. I think we didn't hear from Mark Young or Stephen White. Like, they're too busy screaming about how they were able to pull those results off. But yeah, that was an amazing race. I think Alex Kiedis might have some retribution. I think he's going to be driving angry for the second race now. But 20 seconds to go until we start gridding up for the second race. They will start as they finish, I think, for the first race. So we'll take pole.
Sorry, Dave, are you okay? You're sounding like a Dalek over there. You've gone all funny. You're having another moment. That's fine.
Small moment. Yep. Sorry, the robot in me that's coming out. The truth is being revealed.
That's what it's like at CFS broadcasting, isn't it? We're not human at all. We're just robots.
Oh no, absolutely. But yes, Mark Young starting in the front row, he'll be on the lead side of the grid to get a good run. After start, Walker, Stephen Michaels with and yes, Paul fifth. That's your top five. We go into the race shortly. As here he is, our favourite lad. As he calls the grid to their starting positions, and we will get the race back away for another 40 minutes of absolute chaos.
I wouldn't say it was chaos, Dave. I think it's great racing. I mean, of course, there was a few contacts, Stephen White and Justin Bryce, Alex Kiedis and McLennan, which are unfortunate. That's really sad to see, because it really does affect the outcome of the race with those bits of contact. But besides that, it's just been slight exchanges of paint. Good door-to-door racing between all, and the thing is, they always give each other racing room. It's just those, when the adrenaline runs a bit too high, sometimes mistakes happen, but it's never intentional with these guys, and that's really important to point out, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think there's also times where you try and give racing room, but there's no racing room to give, especially when the track is as tight as this one. So yeah, I don't think there'll be any hard feelings. It was absolutely fantastic racing.
And we are now gridding up for the second time. Only a few seconds countdown to the start of the second race, starting on the rear bumper of Wayne Walker as he starts from pole. And we are off once again. Great start there from Wayne Walker. Rear wheels are spinning up. Mark Young also on the outside. He's got Stephen White chasing him through and moving up into second place as we enter the first corner braking zone.
Yeah, coming through, Stephen White able to jump up into second position, and Wayne Walker holds his position.
Got a spin up. I think that's Matt Ogg in the Monster Mustang machine. He's completely turned around, had a bit of assistance in that, it seemed. But besides that, I think everyone else has got through. Craig Stoddard is the man in question, who's down in 21st place.
Yeah, I was unfortunate for Craig there. He's back underway. I think it was John Slow as well who had that spin in the Monster livery. Alex Kiedis is down into fifth. He's got Billy Ebenheiser chasing him down. We know how hard the Jarvis Swim cars. Oh, who's that? Leon Tollard Williams going over the apex curve at the chicane, managing to hold it together. He's got Justin Bryce all over him now. That was interesting to see. And we'll have Craig Broadbent coming through the field as well, with Daniel Optisano closing him down. But yeah, they're side by side still. Is Justin Bryce and Tollard Williams as they come through to complete the first lap. And we've got Matt Ogg as well, who is in this fight. So this is a spicy little battle for the top 10 positions as the leaders sort themselves out at the start of at the top of the field.
Yeah, it seems to be. Oh, actually, Stephen White is off. I think is that Stephen White? No, it's not. One of the cars went off in a big way. It might be Alex Kiedis. I'm not too sure. No, he's still there. Sorry, who?
Yeah, it's McLennan. He's gone off at the second corner possibly. He's back underway, but that's Chris McLennan down to 19th position, possibly 20th. He can't get past Bradley Martin. But yeah, what a disaster there.
Yeah, I just couldn't see who it was. I caught it in the very top right-hand corner of my screen, just flying off the circuit. I saw a flash of white, and I assumed it was Stephen White, so my apologies for that. Oh, Alex Kiedis having a bit of a moment there for Billy Ebenhauser. They both were side-by-side coming into the penultimate corner, and a bit of a touch, and that forced Billy onto the grass in a bit of a sideways moment. Cuts across the final corner and rejoins, but now he's under pressure from John Wade and Brett Gooden.
Yeah, John Wade go look to the inside here of Ebenhauser. I don't think Ebenhauser's going to back out this one. He is quite the... yeah, he does. But okay, just I'll shut up then. But yeah, he's struggling for some grip. Those tyres are going to be dirty after his experiences there as John Wade gets off the apex curb but goes up onto two wheels. This is very spicy in the first couple of laps here as everyone gets sideways. The tyres clearly still a little bit cold for some of these guys. We've not really seen any of the faster guys make it through the field. Craig Broadbent and Anya Opisano still down in 12th and 13th respectively.
All big moment there for John Wade. He's gone completely off at the exit of turn 8. Cut across the grass, and Billy Ebenhauser down the inside into P5 now there. Brett Gooden, is he going to be able to take advantage of this? No, he's not. He's going to have to wait just a few more moments before he gets his opportunity. Broadbent down on the inside. There's overtakes happening all over the place. I can't keep up with this. He's just overtaken Daniel Obertisano for P13. These guys having a really bad day. Obertisano making a lot of positions at the start of the race already.
Yeah, Justin Bryce and Tyler Williams once again going side by side into the first corner. It's for 8th position. Justin Bryce going to have the line. Who's going to back out? It's going to have to be Tyler Williams as Justin Bryce gets over the curbs. That puts them right into this absolute gaggle of cars as that's Peter Spearing and Craig Broadbent going side by side. Opisano is getting involved in that as well. So this, I don't know where to look. I really don't know where to look here.
All eyes on this 7-car, 8-car train coming up the back straight right now. Justin Bryce leading the pack just ahead of Liam Tyler Williams. Matt Ogg sitting tidy in the centre, and I think Daniel Opisano is the final car in this particular train. This is incredible stuff. This second, whatever's happened, I think they fed them something in pit lane, but it's really spicing up. Got Craig Broadbent down the inside, of Peter Spearing. We've got a free car moment. It's maybe potentially Daniel Opisano waiting this one out. Thinks this is going to end badly. Probably the wise decision there. But Broadbent not able to close the deal. He's still behind Peter Spearing after that overtake attempt.
Yeah, just leaning on Peter Spearing now through the apex, trying to get the way through. Brett Gooden managed to get past John Wade into the 6th position. It's been a fantastic start to the race for him. Once again, Craig Broadbent is leaning on Peter Spearing. They're going about 16 wide coming into the apex. Contact between Peter Spearing and Craig Broadbent. They're still side by side, and they're still side by side and crashing into each other as they come through the apex of the second corner.
Rubbing his racing there, Dave. I think that's all fair in love and war, but they are still side by side coming down the back straight. Daniel Opisano following Craig Broadbent in his slipstream as he hugs the lower line, basically on the white stuff, touching the green grass on the side. But yeah, he's cleared Peter Spearing. Daniel Opisano following him through. Peter Spearing onto the grass as he tries to regain some composure, and both of those cars through. Everyone slows down somehow before they reach turn 9. This is great racing. I'm loving this.
That was absolutely insane. I don't know how any of them managed to not hit each other there, but that was absolutely crazy. It's unfortunate for Peter Spearing there. He did a fantastic defensive job. He's now got Cresta Putra Kurniawan on his tail as well. This battle is far from over as Craig Broadbent now looks to battle Matt Ogg. Goes into the inside of the first corner. Nice easy job there. Much easier than it was to get around Peter Spearing, it seems, as we see Kurniawan going wide down onto the grass. He's managed to gather that back up. So that's Craig Broadbent up into the top 10. Daniel Opisano is next to have a go at the bright green Mustang as Peter Spearing nearly gets it round as well. He'll have Kurniawan all over him now, coming onto the back straight. Then nearly wide Opisano goes onto the grass nearly to try and get around.
Yeah, he's giving a wide berth to Matt Ogg there as he comes down into the next set of corners. He's able to get the move done very nicely indeed. Almost goes onto the grass, but snaps the hold and back into the right direction before things get too hairy. Peter Spearing sitting tidy in the middle, and a new fastest lap there from Wayne Walker. He's starting to slowly pull away from Stephen White, who finds himself 0.7 seconds behind. And then you've got a great battle for P4 as well. Alex Kiedis, Billy Ebenhauser. It's all happening all at the same time here. Billy Ebenhauser having a look down the inside. Then you've got John Wade and Justin Bryce. They're in a battle of their own ahead of Liam Tollard Williams, who's in the mix. And then it's a 1.5 second gap to Craig Broadbent and Opatsano. So they are slowly but surely starting to catch back up to these front running guys. But still a lot of work to do.
Chris McLennan is back on 17th, so he's working his way back up. He's got to fight through one of the Java Sim Esports guards, the GT Sam here, as he's trying his best through the first sector, not able to make that stick. He's now got John Slow on his tail as well, so this is for, you know, a 16th on the track. So the battle going on up and down the field. Chris McLennan tries to recover from his earlier spin. Side-by-side moment here. John Wade, Justin Bryce, he had his Mustang alongside, but he just come off the throttle before coming to the corner, so clearly didn't think that was an overtake or opportunity worth taking. Billy Ebenhauser looking across left and right at the side of Alex Kiedis as he defends fourth. So he's certainly in a faster car at this moment in time, looking to open the door as best he can. Doesn't do so for the time being, and back to the battle everywhere else. Matt Ogg holding off Peter Spearing. You've got Kresna Putra close behind as well. They are pretty much in a 3-car train for the time being. Coming onto the back straight, Matt Ogg will have to do his best to hold off as he gets a sideways moment. This could be an opportunity then for Peter Spearing. Yeah, coming onto the back straight here, Peter Spearing is looking to the outside, ducking out of the slipstream here. It looks like he might be alongside, nearly, not quite. So he's not quite got the speed here to get around Matt Ogg, so he'll have to wait for another moment as Kurniawan is looking toward the inside there. Is he going to try and make a move? No, not quite. So everything continues as it is for the time being. As we'll see a little bit further up, I think Opatsano and Craig Broadbent once again going at it. So I think we'll keep an eye on something. There's plenty of places for us to look at the moment.
Craig Broadbent looking down the inside of Liam Tollard Williams coming into the first corner. He snuck back inside that slipstream before committing.
Sorry to put in. Matt Ebenhauser has tried to make a move. It's make contact with Alex Kiedis. He had to go on the inside of the apex over the grass. So minor contact there. They've managed to carry on as they were. So no issues. But back to his battle with Craig Broadbent. He is side by side now with Liam Tollard Williams.
So a moment here as well for Craig Broadbent. He's side by side with Liam Tollard. And he's actually going to clear him coming into the next set of corners. Heavy on the brakes for turn 9. He will have the inside line. Daniel Opatsano making contact there with Williams as they come into the braking zone. There's a bit of a push to pass there, which is unfortunate, but they both make it through, and that's Craig Broadbent up into P9.
Yeah, not the fairest of moves there for Opatsano. Just kind of put the car there, and wherever it went, But yeah, he is through for the time being, and he has now got to continue chasing Craig Broadbent through the rest of the pack. Battle for fourth position continues as Billy Ebenhauser is all over the back of Alex Kiedis.
Craig Broadbent down the inside there of John Way, committing completely. Daniel Opatsano also trying to take advantage as John is now slow through the next set of corners. He's looking down the inside, trying to follow Broadbent through, which he's side by side at the moment coming onto the back straight. It's a drag race once again. Maybe John Way will have the slipstream from the Mustang ahead just to keep ahead of Opatsano, but they are still neck and neck coming onto the back straight. He will most likely commit down into the next corner, which he does. Sideways there for Opatsano as he tries to Russell Holden back into order before slowing things right down for turn 9. This is great stuff from these two. They are plucking their way through the pack, aren't they? They're just picking them off one by one. They've certainly got a lot of pace in the first half of this race.
Absolutely. Someone who really isn't able to do that is effectively has been Chris McLennan. He's still stuck in 17th. So he's not able to get past GG Izan at the moment here. And everyone ahead is battling. Matt Ogg and Peter Spearing are side by side coming into the first corner. Peter Spearing has the inside. Is he going to be able to keep that for now? He does. He managed to get to the apex first, and that is him up into 12th position. Kresna Pucha Kurniawan is now battling Matt Ogg as well. He's had to back out a little bit just as they go through the chicanes and the windy bit, but gets a much better exit, it looks like, coming through onto the back straight, and he's going to have all the slipstream in the world to try and get past him. Is he going to be able to get anywhere though? Because Matt Ogg is going to have experienced slipstream to help him out. Look at the inside, goes back into the slipstream, not able to make the move stick for the time being.
All big moment there for Justin Bryce. He's gone off the track completely, slams into the Armco barrier and rejoins, having lost 2 positions.
Behind as well.
Yeah, John Wade behind, and a battle between Peter Spearing and Williams. This is all going on at the same time. We can't capture all of the action that's unfolding. Matt Ogg sideways into the final corner. You've got Gigi Izan trying to take advantage as well. John Slow's in there trying to get a slipstream himself. McLennan is looking on ahead at the 5 or 6 cars that are still side by side now. Matt Oggs, yeah, he's side by side coming into turn 1. The Mustang on the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He slits himself in between Ashley Cutchy and the Java Sim Holden, and I think that's a gain of 1 position in the process. And also finds the grass coming through turns 3 and 4, so has to settle for that. Chris McLennan looking on in the meantime. He's trying to get his foot down on the back straight. He may get an opportunity coming up into the next set of corners from the slipstream. Next guy up in the order being Ashley Cutchy.
Yeah, Chris McLennan able to gain 1 position. I think GGSN had that spin that I saw in the background, but continuing on, yeah, I said he's got Ashley Cutchy for company now, pushing him through the apex there as they get to the final part of the circuit. To the braking zone for the final corners. Not able to make a move for the time being, but he needs to get a good exit onto the start finish straight. As Matt Ogg goes very sideways, McLennan goes sideways, everyone's sidiways as we go through the final corner, and that is McLennan up into 50 as Matt Ogg had the terrible exit. That's Pucha Kurniawan in 13th position, trying to make a move on Tollab Williams. McLennan trying to that was never going to work there, Chris. Tries to go around the inside Ashley Cutchy. The door is very firmly shut in his face, and they continue in that order for the time being. So McLennan now up to 15th position.
Got a three-way battle up ahead in P6. Brett Gooden trying to hold off Craig Broadbent and Optisano. Optisano really on the anchors as he tries to find a gap to open for Craig Broadbent. They've been following each other pretty much from the start to finish in this race. Optisano, a little look to the inside, trying to put Craig on edge. He has a sideways moment coming into the final corner. Both wheel spinning as they come into the start-finish straight. It looked like an opportunity here for Optisano. He's got the excess speed. He's now got a nose alongside the rear fender of the Mustang. Is he going to be able to make it work coming into turn 1? Heavy on the brakes goes Optisano. Looks like Craig's going to lose his position. They're still side by side. There's a slight touch as they slow down for the apex and the exit of the corner itself. Optisano up into position there, Dave. Great stuff. Brett Gooden will now be the person in his front view, and he's got a really good run actually. Having said that, he's starting to speed up quite nicely down the back straight. Optisano looking to take 2 positions in one single lap as they come into the heavy braking zone. He is not alongside of Brett Gooden for this time by. Goes onto the grass, snaps it back in just in time for the braking zone once again. And that is another opportunity missed there from Optisano. He looked like he was going to make that move, but just couldn't make it stick. Good defending there from Brett Gooden. Coming into the final corner once again. It seems like they've both got a very similar exit, and it would be a tall ask for the slipstream to make up that particular gap, but Optisano won't be overtaking this time by. In the meantime, back to this great battle. This train of cars we've got coming down the start-finish straight. It's been like this from start of the race as we approach the first round of pit stops, just 4 minutes before people start to come in. And Chris McLennan trying to eye up the Java Sim car. Kresna Putra behind the wheel of this particular machine.
Yeah, I think Chris McLennan probably would have hoped he could make moves off the order quicker than this, but he surely is having fun battling all these cars. It's been absolutely fantastic to watch so far. See Tyler Williams trying to break the slipstream of Kurniawan ahead, as Chris McLennan is following him closely as well. So this battle continuing all the way. It's everywhere on the circuit as McLennan gets right up onto the back of currently are one. Not able to find a way around. He's looking left and right, trying to find a gap to extend it down, but no such luck there for Chris McLennan. He has to settle again for 40th position as he continues on chasing down the rest of the field.
All sideways moment here, perhaps, for Kresna-Putra. He's down the inside. McLennan's following him through. 2 positions lost in one single corner. Here comes one of the, I think that might be one of the white Mustangs. Yes, it is. He's gone around the long way round. That's the number 8 car. I haven't seen that one. Isn't that a lap down? Ashley Cutchy. He's lost 3 positions in the course of a few corners, Dave. That is a massive loss there for Williams.
Yeah, he's not had the best of corners there, and it's not over because that one is chasing him down. He's looking in the slipstream. He's going to look toward the inside, not able to make a move there, and that is Tyler Williams safe for the time being as he starts to close once again on the old school racing car in 14th position and try and get some of those positions back that he'd lost.
Potentially a moment here further up the order. Brett Good and Daniel Opsano, they are within a few tenths of each other. Opsano down, looking inside, coming into turn 1. Craig Broadbent trying to follow through, but he's not able to make the move work. He's still around the outside. Big contact there between Brett Good and Opsano. Craig Broadbent has his nose chopped off in the process. He couldn't have escaped that even if he tried. And a front wing missing there for Brett Gooden and Craig Broadbent. Opsano through. It just wasn't enough track space there to make that work.
Yeah, I'm not sure entirely whose fault that might have been. I think it was just 2 cars trying to go for one piece of track and not enough room for it to happen. But yeah, that has been a disaster for both Brett Gooden and Craig Broadbent, as Craig Broadbent really struggling there for grip because he's missing his splitter. That's putting Brett Gooden right onto his tail now. This might be have to be another Craig Broadbent undercutting masterclass to try and get back up to the
Justin Bryce now coming through. Sorry, Dave. Yeah, it looks like he is in a lot of trouble. Oh, the 88 getting pushed off as well. So Brett Gooden still continuing despite the damage, and that has allowed Justin Bryce, John Wade through into position. Alex Kidas and Craig Broadbent all into pit lane. Looks like maybe McLennan is also joining suit and coming in for early change and service. But yeah, Brett Gooden's going to harm his race even further. It's now at the halfway point. He is due a service. He can easily come in to fix that damage. But whether he chooses not to, that's the question.
Yeah, I've noticed Opusano is, I think he might be driving angry. There's been some really aggressive and kind of decisive moves through the field so far. There's been some contact and some issues there. I think he's got to really, he's really struggling to get the car slowed down. So yeah, I think Opusano might need to just chill out a little bit, otherwise he's going to end up like he did in the first race. But leaders are in the pits. Stephen White, Mark Young and Wayne Walker all within in the pit lane. So we'll see who is able to come out ahead of who there. And we'll see if the order's shook up any there. Opitano takes over the race lead for the time being, as he has yet to come to the pits, but we do know that Opitano does like to run long in races like this.
I think maybe Alex Kidas had a bit of an issue coming out of pit lane. One of the, I think it might have been Matt Ogg's car was stationary, and we've actually got our leaders in. Having said that, let's touch on the leaders just quickly. Stephen White has been able to stay with Wayne Walker from start to finish as he comes out of pit lane in between these two guys, but the gap has been pretty much stable at about 1.5 seconds, and this is going to be a bit of a problem now for Stephen White as he fights for the lead of this race. He's got 2 cars in the way. They are for position, but of course they are further down the pack because they are yet to service for this particular race. So he's managed to get past Bradley Martin without much issue, but that will have still cost him time, and you still have this green Mustang separating the two. He will get a slight slipstream advantage from the 70, but it won't be in his advantage when it comes to the twisty stuff, of course.
Opidisano into the pit lane for his service, so only going an extra lap over everybody else. We'll see where he is able to come back out of the pits. Brett Gooden continuing on once again. So I don't think, like for me, it doesn't look like he's missing a front bumper. So he might.
Sorry, go on.
So I think he might be okay to carry on for the time being, but yeah, I'm not sure how much that's going to be helping or hurting his race to go along like this.
I mean, he had a massive moment with Broadbent. I know Broadbent lost his front bumper, but of course that impact into that side front, I think it was the front wheels that he went into, that would have caused a lot of tracking issues that need to be seen to. RF2 isn't so forgiving, especially in these V8 supercars. They're very, very twitchy. So at the best of times, that's when everything's working properly. So even if I had any damage, I think I would have come into the pit lane as soon as to get that rectified for a strong second half of the race.
Someone to just touch on, Mark Young has had a fantastic race. He's currently sat in 5th position, but will be 3rd once everyone works through their pit stops. He's just in a world of his own. He's having a fantastic race. Kidas obviously had his issues. He is all the way down in 14th now. Oh, speaking of that, Kidas and Chris McLennan have had a coming together. They're in the barriers. Chris McLennan continues to have contact with Matt Ogg. What on earth has happened here?
This has been one of those races for Alex Kidas, hasn't it? It's just no matter what he does, he's done everything right, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't see myself what happened to cause that piece of contact, so I can't place any blame on who was who, or I don't want to be in that situation in the first place. But he was in 3rd place the last race, got taken out in that final corner before coming over to the checker flag, and now again strong position in this race, and it's all unfolded, and he now finds himself down in 20th place.
Look at the replay. He was squeezed to the apex, coming through the kind of fast chicane by Chris McLennan. Had nowhere to go, spun himself and Chris McLennan into the wall. So yeah, again, nothing that nothing that Alex Kidas did wrong there. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately. But he deserves much better than he's got, I would say, at the moment. He's definitely been driving much better than 20th position.
And that just shows how competitive this series is as well, doesn't it? Just because those small mistakes, you can go from the top of the pack to the bottom of the pack. That's not even a massive stationary moment. I know it's a short lap here, but almost everyone is on the same lead lap. Bar some people that have had a bad day at the bottom. Almost everyone is on the same lead lap as Wayne Walker and everyone else behind. It's good stuff to watch. And actually we have a moment here between Craig Broadbent and Daniel Optisano. They are pretty much bumper to bumper coming into the first corner. Justin Bryce just a few further tenths ahead as they come down into the next set of corners.
Not quite room for Optisano to make the move through there, so unfortunately don't think he had the pace through the pit stops to get around. He has come out behind Craig Broadbent, who he was fighting earlier, and had that minor contact with Brett Gooden. This battle continues. Just interesting when we watched this, Billy Ebenheiser holds the fastest lap.
Sorry, the slipstream, he might be making a move here. Sorry, I was watching the car get closer and closer there, Dave, and I thought he might make a move down into the corner, but sorry, carry on.
No, that's absolutely fine. I was just saying that Billy Ebenheiser currently holds the fastest lap of about 2/10, so he's having a fantastic race. Back to this battle. Optisano looks towards the inside, doesn't have any room to make that stick, so he's going to continue on. Just under 15 minutes this race to go, so plenty of time for Optisano to make some further moves here. Justin Bryce is within touching distance of these two as well, so it could be a top 5 on here for Optisano, which I think would be a good result considering what he had to go through this race. But coming into first corner, not able to make any moves here. Still right under the rear wing of Craig Broadbent.
Optisano bouncing off the rev limiter coming through their section of corners as well. Just that extra few miles an hour provided by the slipstream, just bouncing off the top end of the engine's V8s. Amazing sound as they try to slow things down for the next set of corners. Justin Bryce now under pressure from Craig Broadbent. He's had a good next lap, or next flying lap, and he's actually pulled away from Optisano slightly.
Coming into the heavy braking zone towards the end of the lap, Optisano is still all over the back of Craig Broadbent, just can't find any room around him. Looks to the inside once again, no room at all. Just letting him know that he's there, possibly trying to spot some braking zones, because I'm pretty sure that Mustang obscures a bit of your vision when you're that close to it. But they are both closing Justin Bryce very quickly here, so this is a three-way battle now for 5th position. What can Justin Bryce do to hold off these two hard chargers from the back of the grid? They've been driving angry all throughout the race so far. Is he going to put up much of a fight? We'll see. We're getting into the closing stages of the race now. So far, the treble 3 doing a decent job of holding them off as everyone gets sideways coming onto the back straight. And slipstream will be in effect now. Craig Broadbent slowly closing. Optisano is closing as well. Who's going to make the move? Broadbent looks to the inside. He looks again. He's jinking left and right. Not able to get close enough so this time around. Just about making the apexes through the chicane. And then everyone carries on as normal through onto the final corners.
Coming in through turn 6 is by far my favourite part of this track. It's just so aggressive. You know, carrying pretty much all of the speed from that back straight through that particular apex. And then you've got to hit your markers before you slam on the anchors. It's really wonderful to see in these V8s. You can see the suspension transition, swaying the car as the body rolls. It's such a great circuit here at Sandown.
Absolutely, and for some of the guys you have to do that all one-handed because they use sequential shifters, so yeah, I do not envy them trying to do that, and being able to do it with such precision every time round, and also fight people for position is fantastic to watch. But going back to this battle, Justin Bryce still holding off these two guys as we continue on to lap 25 as Wayne Walker crosses the start-finish line now. No change to full position yet. Craig Broadbent just stuck in a bit of a holding sandwich here as he tries to find his way around Bryce but also defend Optisano.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful about how he wants to play this. I mean, there's no further pit stops, no more strategic moves. It is race pace to the checker flag from this moment on. So if he makes any mistakes, then Optisano will be ready to seize that opportunity. And of course, these guys are both in second and third place in the standings, so it's vital as Broadbent looks down the inside into turn 1. He's cleared Bryce before even reaching the apex itself. There's a slight exchange of paintwork as Bryce tries to find his way around the outside for the next corner, but that is a solid move there from Broadbent. Daniel Optisano trying to set up an undercut pass onto the back straight. He looks like he's going to be able to do so. The slipstream will now play its part down the back straight.
Yeah, it was a good move from Broadbent there. Nice kind of decisive and easy move there as Optisano looks to the inside now. Who's going to back out first? It's going to be one of them, and it should be, yeah, it's Optisano. He was not able to get that overlap just about. Bryce was just able to close the door onto the apexes. I think they make some minor contact at the exit there. They're side by side coming into the final corners. Optisano has the outside line. He's going to try and turn. Oh, okay. That was a bit cheeky there from Optisano. I think he turned in not quite giving Bryce enough room at the apex and just sent him a little bit squirrely. But that's Optisano through. I think Optisano might have a trip to the steward's office after this race. I'm not sure about you.
I mean, I'm not too sure about that one. I think that was a bit of just a racing incident. He did give him racing room. He was still able to make the corner. I think maybe Justin just expected a bit more space than what he was provided, and that's what caused that minor bit of contact. I think we're being a bit too harsh there. But, I mean, we could be wrong. The race stewards could slap him a penalty on afterwards, who knows. But that's the way I saw it anyway.
So that's given Craig Broadbent just that little bit of a gap that he needs for the time being to start extending and get towards Billy Ebenheiser for fourth place. So from the start that he had, Craig Broadbent back up into fifth position, and he is moving on nicely. In third position again, Mark Young doing a fantastic job. He is in absolute no man's land. Oh, as I look at him there, it looks like one of the Java Sim cars has had a big crash. I think that was Gigi Isan. Yeah, he. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, I think he just hit the inside wall on the start finish straight and bounced straight into the outside wall. The car seems okay, so surely it mustn't have been too bad. So yeah, moving on.
Yeah, we've got a nice battle for 14th and 15th place here. Ashley Cutchy, Matt Ogg and Williams all in a nice neat train. You've also got John Slow just in the background by a few further tenths. And you've also got Brad Mays and Bradley Martin about to do battle as well. They've got 0.8 seconds between those guys. So it's all starting to come together in the final stages here of this second race for the evening. And we'll see what happens, see how they unravel. Matt Ogg is leading this particular pack.
Krishna Clements, just as a note, is still driving around without a front bumper. So clearly he has deduced that driving around with damage is quicker than pitting and fighting your way back through the field. So I think he's just happy to have a bit of clean air ahead of him for the time being, I think.
That reminds you of Ferrari back in Formula 1. I know it's nowhere near what we're talking about this evening, but do you remember when Alonso had a really slow car? He broke his front wing and went 0.5 seconds faster a lap.
Sounds about right. Going back to this battle for 13th, then Matt Ogg doing a fantastic job to defend from the old school racing car, the number 8. I say that number 8's gone round. He's too eager on the power coming out the final corner and has just slammed it into the inside wall. Looks like the car is able to continue okay as the leader comes through now. But yeah, that was unfortunate. Just as I start talking about him, Ashley Kutcher unfortunately has that instance. So once again, I'll just shut my mouth for the time being.
And as he starts to get back underway, we have our race leader coming to shot, which is of course Wayne Walker. He's doing a very solid job as you'd expect, and most likely going to extend his championship lead once more. Stephen White, though, still isn't out of this fight. He's rectified his mistakes from the first round with his contact with Justin Bryce, I believe it was, and he is sitting just 2 seconds shy of winning this race himself. So Wayne Walker can't relax. He's still got a lot of work to do.
Battle for 5th position is hotting up a little bit now. Albertisano has closed right onto the back of Craig Broadbent as they come through the technical first sector onto the back straight now. Albertisano is going to have all the slipstream he will ever want and ever need coming into this bit as they go out of slipstream from each other. It's very interesting. I would have thought Albertisano would have stayed in the slipstream there unless he's
I think he's trying to cool down his tyres.
Yeah.
He's got one final opportunity, 6.5 minutes still remaining. The tyres, when you're in the slipstream, as we know, will overheat. And once you overheat these V8s, as we've heard from many of the drivers in this championship, as soon as he gets into the tyres, they're done. They're cooked from the inside out. So I think maybe that was a slight tactic to get some nice, cool air into those front vents and, give some relief to those front tyres.
Yeah, well, he's back into the slipstream now as they come down the start-finish straights. As Craig Broadbent nearly gets on the grass there. That would have been terrible if he'd hit the brakes at that point. But he's able to hold on for the time being and keeps the hard-charging Albertisano behind him for now. Number 4 car has to settle for the 6th position for the time being.
Yeah, on board now with Craig Broadbent as he makes his way down the back straight. Nice rear view of Albertisano as he gives chase. And you can get a real nice sense of speed coming through the next set of corners. As you can see, the car's undulating through the apexes. Daniel Albertisano having a slight moment there under braking, but holds it together. I think I'm just falling in love with this track, Dave. It's offered us some of the best racing I've seen in a while, and that's not taken away from the rest of the season. It's been battles from start to finish in this 2022 season, but there's something about Sandown that's really agreeing with me.
You're about to go run some laps after this, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it won't be the same if I'm on my own. I think I need to I feel like I need to put down the mic and get in the spare car. Maybe the pace car is still available, I don't know, but I feel like I need to do something.
Well, the battle continues. Unfortunately, I'll have to just sit and watch other people do it for the time for the next 5 minutes. But yeah, the battle continues for 5th position. They are closing in on Billy Ebenheiser. It's only about 3 seconds ahead of them now, as you can see on track. So there's plenty of opportunity for things to happen here. As we see, I think Peter Spearing's had issues. Yep, he's fallen down the order. Looks like he's had an incident coming into the final corner. Looks like he might have not the final corner, the back straight, sorry. It looks like he might have some damage because he just let Chris McLennan go straight through. So, not the day that Peter Spearing would have wanted there after a strong start to the race, but he carries on for the time being.
Yeah, look at the gap already. Oh, is Chris McLennan? Oh, yeah, he's continuing with no front bumper, isn't it? That's. I just thought I had a quick moment. I was like, hang on a minute, that's meant to be purple. But yeah, we've already talked about that, haven't we? How he's still continuing the race.
Yeah, look at the gap come down to between Craig Broadbent and Albertisano here. They're very much working together to get up to Billy Ebenheiser here. I don't think they're going to have enough time to get anywhere near Mark Young for the podium positions, but definitely fourth position is on the cards for these two drivers here if they can not crash into each other for a lap or two as they try and battle.
Oh yeah.
But
sorry, go on.
so you carry on, Matt.
I was going to say they're definitely trying to turn this into a three-way fight, aren't they? There's definitely still points up for grabs, and everything counts in the later stages of this championship. And it'll be interesting to see how Billy's going to respond in defence.
Optisano there gets very squirrely coming through the high-speed chicane. Goes a little bit on the inside of the apex on the grass. He's just about able to hold it together, but yeah, he's really pushing now. Is Optisano? He really wants to get past Broadbent and towards Ebenheiser, but it's going to be tough now. There's only less than 3 minutes to go, so about 3 laps worth of running. They're both running out of time here.
I think this is going to be one of those races like we saw in the previous round here. It's going to be, is it the last lap? I'm going to make my move now because they know that the slipstream will count for something in retaliation of the next straight. You know, it's if I make my move too early, it will just hurt my time and I'll be in a bad position come the end of the lap.
Yeah, Optisano's thinking here, do I make the move now or do I wait until Ebenheiser is a little bit closer and I can try and get a double overtake on these two? It's a lot of thinking that you've got to do at this stage while also travelling at 250 plus kilometers an hour. Yeah, there's a lot of strategy to go on here. Who's going to make the move and when do you make it? And when can you make sure that you can't, you can stop the counter attack from happening? So Ebenheiser, I think, is going to be a little bit nervous here. He could be willing that lap down car of Craig Stoddard just to get out of the way.
He wants the slipstream at first, though. And Chris McLennan has come into pit lane to service his car. He's going to re-emerge P11 by looks of things. So maybe deciding that the damage is too much, it seems. I'm not too sure.
Chris McLennan? No, it looks like he's still got no bumper for me.
Is that?
I don't think
No, that isn't. No, that isn't. Who was that then? That was a purple car coming out of pit lane.
I'm not sure. Was it possibly?
Oh, actually,
Brad
it might.
May?
Yeah, it would be Brad Mays. Yes, it was
Yeah.
Brad Mays. Sorry to cause a confusion there to everyone watching, but yeah, it was Brad Mays. And now we have our three-way fight coming into the second sector. Optisano deciding to go and do a bit of gardening before continuing his race. But now on to what will be the final lap, potentially. Wayne Walker's currently making his way through Sector 1 as we speak, and we know the laps are very short here at Sandown, so we may have an extra lap.
Yeah, we're looking at one more lap here as Billy Ebenheiser, as Alex Kidas was, just wishing it wasn't. He's holding on to that fourth position quite nicely at the moment. He's got that little bit of a gap that he just about needs to keep these two cars behind. Optisano is busy trying to get around Craig Broadbent. Craig Broadbent will be busy trying to keep Optisano behind. So this is going to be quite close, and you can see Mark Young in the picture there as he's coming in over to hopefully take quite a comfortable third position. Braking now. We've got 2 seconds to go, and
yeah, Wayne Walker started another lap. I mean, he can't afford to this time. Of course, he had the advantage in the previous race of about 10 seconds where everyone was fighting. Stephen White is still there, 1.8 seconds behind, albeit separated by 2 lapped cars. Sorry.
What's that? Just Craig Broadbent. I absolutely do not believe he'll be able to keep that position. But Craig Broadbent pretty much Tokyo drifted around the outside of Ebenheiser. Ebenheiser was spooked by it, had a half spin, and that is now Optisano battling for fourth position. It was absolutely crazy. I mean, Craig Broadbent did not get the car stopped in time, had to go over the grass, and now that's Optisano possibly
they're still side by side, yeah. They're still fighting. They're still fighting. Even coming through the S's, that's still side by side, bashing once again as they come through onto the back straight. It's going to be a drag race down to the next set of corners. Whoever wins this drag race, I feel, will take the position.
Yeah, it's very close here. I think Optisano just about has the advantage here. He's got the line coming into the braking zone, but who's going to get it? It's going to be Optisano just about into fourth position, but this battle is definitely not over. They come round through the final corners. We're going to see Craig Broadbent, I think, possibly make one of those big dive bombs again that he did in the first race. comes into the first part. Oh, that's a bad exit there from...
Oh, no, it's gone, yeah.
Yeah, he was not able to get that to stick, and that is going to be Daniel Opedisano coming through here. Wayne Walker takes the win. Stephen White takes second, and that is Mark Young in third position. Fantastic result for him. Opedisano just about recovers that into fourth position. Craig Broadbent in fifth, and then Billy Ebenheiser comes home in sixth position. I think he might be a little bit disappointed with that one. Brett Gunn in seventh place. John Wade comes home in eighth. That's a good result for the old school racing cars. Cresto Pucciaconiawan in ninth, and Justin Bryce just come across the line for 10th. That's your top 10 there. Good recovery from Chris McLennan to come home in 11th as well. That was a good recovery drive in the end. Not quite where I think he could have been for the race, but yeah, that was once again an absolutely insane race. That was action from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm speechless. That was some absolutely brilliant racing from all involved. Some questionable moves, as I'm sure the race director will be involved in at a later stage, but 10 out of 10 in my books. That was extremely entertaining to watch. I think everyone watching on the stream is enjoying this as well. This is... Sandown has delivered. Let's just put it that way. It has delivered, that's for sure. And yeah, Wayne Walker extending his championship lead. That makes it 7 wins in a row there, Dave.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty unstoppable at the moment. Is Wayne Walker? He's really showing why he is a 2-time champion, and he's making it pretty clear that he wants to go for the 3. So yeah, he's been unstoppable. Is no questions there. He has been the best of the drivers in this round. Even though he said he didn't go very well here, he's being as modest as always, but yeah, we didn't really see too much of the top 3 in that race as everything was going on further down the field. But we do have a couple of the podium sitters here. We'll start with Stephen White. Stephen, that was a good finish for you. A bit of a redemption from the first race there. How was it from your perspective?
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I mean, every night is exactly the same as we talk about week in and week out, and that is you got to do your homework. Got to hit your marks, and you got to be spot on. And I didn't have a bad qualifying. I was pretty happy to make it to the front row. However, I didn't have the perfect setup for the race. Again, haven't been able to put in the laps, and obviously the bar choice I made for race 1 didn't exactly work the way I wanted it to. And then I was playing with guys that probably for the first time to have some battles with, and just learning a little bit about each other with how we do things. Then in race 2, I did the opposite to race 1 with my bars, and it was just qualifying lap after qualifying lap after qualifying lap. And I think Wayne was still obviously, 3-4 tenths quicker over the distance, but I'm happy with P2, and congratulations to Wayne and Mark for 3rd.
Yeah, it was. I would say it was entertaining to watch, but unfortunately, we weren't really watching too much of the top 3 throughout most of that race, as all the action was going on behind. But yeah, congratulations once again, Matt. I'm not sure if you've got anything you want to add for Stephen there.
No, just to say again, it's been a pleasure to watch. You really kept Wayne Walker on his toes in the final. That second race there, it was pretty much 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds from start to finish, even after the pit stops, and you had that traffic to contend with. So yeah, thank you for putting on a show once again, Steve.
Yeah, no worries, man. I was actually pretty happy myself, actually, to do a pit stop, not knowing exactly how much fuel to put in, and Wayne only being like an extra half a second up the road. I'm going, I must be close now.
At least that's a good sign that you've done things right, isn't it? You're not too far ahead and you're not too far behind, so it's always a good feeling when that happens.
It is. Thanks, Matt.
No worries.
All right, next, Mark Young. Mark, congratulations on your podium there. If I'm not mistaken, that is your best result of the season so far. It seemed pretty straightforward for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely is my best result. Yeah, race 1, I got lucky with a few positions, which put me into position for this race. I knew I wasn't going to beat Wayne or Steve, and I was just doing my own lap times. Had a gap behind, so it's a pretty boring race. Very good.
Yeah, well, boring race is always the best ones, but yeah, congratulations once again. Hoping to take some of that momentum with you into the next round.
Look, I'll just try and keep consistent. That's all I do, and just watch the fast guys go fast.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations once again on your podium, and we'll see you in the next round. Brilliant. Next, Wayne Walker, once again, pretty straightforward race for you. Again, from start to finish, you were leading, but this time I think Steve had you just on the back of the reins ever so slightly. But congratulations once again. That's 13 wins in the season, 7 in a row. How are you feeling after that one?
Oh, that was a lot tougher than the first race. Like Steve said, it was pretty much qualifying laps without trying to hurt the tyres, and I'd pull a bit of a gap, then make a little mistake, and he'd get closer again. It would just kept going backwards and forwards. But yeah, it was I couldn't relax in that race.
Well, once again, you've put on a good show for us. You've shown the slow guys like I am how it's done. But yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for turning up, and thanks to all of you. Congratulations on your results.
If I can just ask Wayne, you've had a dominant second half of the season now. Surely that's got to be a bit of a confidence boost. Are you starting to relax going towards the end? I mean, I know there's always room for error, that you could have a DNF, you could have a disconnection, all the wonderful things that sim racing comes with. But, mentally, that's got to give you a bit of a boost going into the final rounds and the endurance races, which we know you love so much.
Yeah, it's I think I've got a decent lead, but yeah, like anything can happen. Like you said, I think the next race is Bathurst, and it's not the easiest track to go the race distance without hitting the wall or anything like that. So you can quite easy have a DNF or something on tracks like that. And after that's like Gold Coast, Newcastle, they're all street circuits, where anything can happen, especially on 100% damage. So
yeah, high concrete walls don't blend well with V8s, do they?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's you are firmly in control now. I think you can pretty much manage your way to the finish. I don't want to say you've won it. I never say that, but 7 out of 7. That's incredible tally in the second half of the season for you. And that's with guys like Stephen White, Craig Broadbent, all doing their utmost to keep you on pace, which they have been. You've had some great battles throughout the season, but give us an insight into your approach into the next few rounds. Are you just going to have the same kind of mentality, I haven't won it until I've won it kind of thing, or can you start to relax and play the points game?
No, still just take each race as it is, and same thing, just try and be there at the end, and yeah, just be consistent. That's one of the main things.
Perfect. I mean, Stephen, you still with us?
Yes.
Have you got any answers, do you think, coming up in the next few rounds? Is there any place you know you're going to shine well, or want to put him on the back foot, perhaps?
If I can just continue to put pressure on him like I am with the miles that I can do, I'm pretty happy. I go to Cairns tomorrow to do a car launch with Toda. I come home for a night, then go to Brisbane to do some driver standards advisory roles with Formula 4 that weekend. And then I think New Zealand is next, Wayne. I don't think Bathurst is just yet.
No, it's all... Yeah.
So I get home the week of New Zealand. That's why I know that I'm pretty sure New Zealand's next. So again, I'll go into New Zealand with no practice, no nothing, and just do my best. And if I can put a little bit of pressure on Wayne to make a mistake, or if I get a little bit more speed on the night, who knows? We could get one over him.
Well, that's I mean, to be honest, that's pretty much my approach. Just turn up and do what you can. So, I mean, if that's what you're doing pretty much for all these races, then that's outstanding with no practice at all. So, hats off to you for that one. And Mark Young, you still with us as well?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking forward for the rest of the season. Is there any particular rounds that you're looking forward to? We're coming to the end now. You're starting to eye up some positions that you might want to come home with standings wise. Is there any particular rounds that you're starting to rub your hands together for? I really want to sink your teeth into.
No, I'm just want clean races, and I'm happy where I finish. Yeah, I'm just going for consistency, really.
Fair enough. That's a very modest approach. I think I'd want to send it 100%, but that's probably why I'm not racing. I'll probably end up in a wall somewhere. But guys, you know, congratulations on all your podium positions. Dave, is there anything you want to add before we sign off for today?
No, I think I'm pretty happy with everything there. Thank you again to all you guys for putting on a fantastic show for us, and from those 2 races this evening.
It's been brilliant.
And we'll hopefully see you in the next round.
Thank you.
It's Dave. Thanks, Matt.
No worries, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you on the next one. Have fun. But, yep, from us here at CFS, we'll sign off for the night, Dave. It's been incredible racing here at Sandown. If you're just joining the live stream, if you just picked it up on your way out, then make sure you rewind. But yeah, Broadbent doing everything in his power to ensure he comes home victorious. Auckland Sprint will be next on the 10th of September, and that is the next round before we start going into the endurance. There's a question mark over the final round, which will be Adelaide, which I think has been added. I think Newcastle has a few question marks because we do follow the real calendar here for the V8 Supercar Championship. If you are interested in joining us, or if you are interested in joining the guys here in this series, all the links are down in the description for you. You can hit them up on their website or on Discord, whichever you prefer, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to accommodate you, and you can join this incredible series. But from us here, that is us signing off for the day, and thank you very much, and goodbye.